Namaste. In a world grappling with environmental degradation, climate change, and depleting natural resources, sustainable solutions are no longer a choice, they're a necessity. We have a very special guest here today who's going to be talking about not just sustainable solutions, but actually drawing on the wisdom, the ancient culture of this beautiful land that we inhabit. But before I bring him onto your digital screens, I would like to start by invoking the higher power. Shakti has held me in good stead. I'll start by reciting this very old Sanskrit stotra of the Saraswati Vandana. Ya kundendu tushar haradhavala, ya shubhra vastravrita, ya veena vanadadna bandhitkara, ya shweta padmasana, ya brahmachitta shankar prabhutibhi, devai sada vandita, samam patu saraswati, bhagavati nishesh, jadyapaha. Like I said, we have a very, very special guest here with me today, Madhukar Swayambhu, co-founder of Vaidic Srijan SABERA Awardee, has spearheaded Cownomics Technology, a sustainable nature-based solution that transforms polluted water bodies into thriving ecosystems. And with over 60 water bodies revived across India through the length and breadth, their work has improved water quality, revived aquatic life, and even reduced public health risks linked to pollution. And all of this is done by actually deep diving into the ancient wisdom of our beautiful culture. Thank you, Madhukar, for doing what you're doing, and thank you for taking out time for being with us today. Madhukar, you're muted. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for giving us the platform. We were just wanting to be there on this show for almost a year now, right from the first time when we spotted your video. And that's how we participated into the Sabera Awards contest. And fortunately, we were able to win an award as well. And since then, we've been looking forward to get this opportunity to get on this call with you. So
Super.
thanks a lot for giving us the
Super.
opportunity.
Madhukar, what you have done is phenomenal, I would say. Our little interaction right now, and of course with the jury acknowledging you with the work that you are doing, I think it's a revolution waiting to happen. It's almost like we have forgotten where we come from, and we don't realize the kind of wisdom that is contained in those scriptures that we so fleetingly and passing by probably talk about, sometimes just to create a kind of an impact on the other person, that I've read so such and such scripture and so on and so forth, and from a very spiritual or maybe religious, so to speak, that I've read the Bhagavad Gita or I've read certain thing. But you have actually taken an approach which is not just any religious fervor or even spiritual fervor for that matter. It is actually deep diving into the wisdom that they're giving all of humanity. Tell us a little about Vedic Srijan. The name itself is very suggestive. And then, of course, Cownomics.
Ma'am, my Nani used to tell me that whenever you are in doubt, you can just open Ramcharit Manas and look at one of the chopai. You will get the answer to wherever you are stuck. So I used to be very amused that how can a book give all the answers wherever I'm stuck at whatever point in time, but when I practiced that, it really worked. So from there, I developed this understanding that you will get an answer for the question, whatever you're searching for, you'll get an answer for that, provided you are very true to your search. So people are going through the scriptures for philosophy, for spirituality, and they're getting that. We were going through the scriptures to understand science because we had a very strong belief that whatever our traditions are, there is a strong scientific reason behind that. It is not just a ritual. We have undergone I would say a transformation in last about 2500 years, and we have been disconnected from our roots. So, fortunately for us, we were following the rituals, but unfortunately for us, we forgot the reasoning behind the rituals. So, we were just trying to find out logically and rationally what are the reasons behind the rituals, and that was what was our search. I mean, the search began from why is cow holy? But what we derived, what we arrived upon, what we discovered was entirely a different world altogether. That is why we switched over from IT to ecology, which is, I mean, I have not heard of this kind of a career shift in last about 50 years of my life.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You are from an IT background and you had this very simple question that गाय हमारी माता है, होता
Right.
जाता है, करेक्ट? तो
Right.
वहां से ये एक सिंपल सी सर्च शुरू हुई जिससे आप सारे वेद का ज्ञान प्राप्त करने की दौड़ में चल पड़े। उसके बाद जो पुराण हैं, जो उपनिषद हैं, उनको भी पढ़ा, बट एक बहुत ही एकेडमिक तरीके से। You were actually looking at it to understand what is the reason behind what is being said. Did you find any reasoning?
When we find reason, we were able to find out reasoning for almost each and every of our practices. We didn't dwell deeper into certain aspects of it because we didn't want to get deviated. Like,
Okay, no. Let me cut short. You are brimming with a lot of information and knowledge. But let's stay focused on this ecology, restoration, sustainable living right now. With
yeah,
Cownomics. What is Cownomics technology?
okay. And Cownomics is the technology for resurrection of native ecology in soil, water, and air
Does
through
cow
the
have anything
consumption
to do
point.
with it? Sorry, does the cow have anything to do with it?
Uh, Cow was the start point of our journey to this side. That is why cow was there. And
Okay.
frankly speaking, today man is a commercial animal. When we were studying, man used to be a social animal. Today, man is a commercial animal. So if you don't add economics to any venture, it will not make sense. So
Correct.
that is why we connected cow and economics together. Because whenever you are doing anything new and you are going to the market for people to understand, you have to coin a new term also. Because whenever these days you meet a person, the first thing that you will do going back is search him on the internet. So, fortunately or unfortunately for me, my parents had this kind of a vision that they named me Madhukar Swayambhu, which is a very unique name on the internet. You search me on Google, you'll find all the first 10, 20 searches leading to the right direction. So, that is why we had to coin a term for our technology also, which we coined as Cownomics Technology. Now, you search for
Great.
Cownomics Technology, you will always land on the right pages.
So, what exactly is Cownomics? What exactly is Vedic Srijan? We've established the fact that you have taken the wisdom from the Ved, you've taken the wisdom of why cow is holy, got those answers, and then devised some technology such that it actually restores polluted water bodies, and not just polluted water bodies, it's having an impact on the air and the entire ecological system.
Right. Ma'am, basically, our understanding, because it is based on Vedic science, it says that water bodies are not just pool or reservoir of water. They are the ecosystem service providers. And scientifically speaking or logically speaking, it makes sense because if you go back to 500 million years ago, there was a Cambrian revolution era, which is defined by the modern science, wherein a very high pace evolution was happening within the marine ecology, but there was no terrestrial ecology at that point in time, right? So life was moving from water towards terrestrial life. Now, terrestrial life had a very different requirement. Marine life was absolutely fine with the salinity of water, but the terrestrial life, because it was a different ecosystem altogether, it had different requirement, and one of those requirements was sweet water. That is why nature created landlocked water bodies on the terrestrial surface, in spite of the fact that 73% of the globe was as it is water, but that was marine water, that was saline water. So sweet water was created by nature on the landlocked surface just to provide the ecosystem services in their vicinity, respective vicinities, right? So between soil and water, there is an exchange going on. Between water and air, there is an exchange going on, and that keeps the life going. So, like today, what most of the people believe is water body contamination is a man-made problem. If hypothetically speaking, if you remove human beings from the face of earth, there'll be no contamination which will happen, which is a wrong notion. Water bodies are capable of taking care of contamination and decontamination of the water bodies is a natural phenomena, and they are capable of dealing with it. The only problem which mankind has created is consistency in adding pollution to the water body, right? Otherwise, whenever the contamination was happening, it was due to a natural cause, which could be volcanic eruption, which could be earthquakes, which could be thunderstorms, hailstorms, uh, anything, right? And everything has got an impact into the natural environment of the water body, which was leading to pollution or contamination. But there was a process for nature to deal with it. Nature was able to take care of it, and then whatever problem was there, that used to get eradicated on its own. It was a complete cycle, right? But when uh, human beings have come up with their own concepts of so-called development and burning of fossil fuels and adding of sewage into the water bodies, that is a different kind of problem altogether. But all these problems are not new to the water bodies. They know how to deal with it. Only difference is a volcanic eruption or a thunderstorm or an earthquake is once in a blue moon kind of activity, whereas the sewage production for the changed lifestyle of the mankind is a regular activity. So this regular activity adds to the regular contamination into the water body, and this regular contamination into the water body leads to a chain reaction. So nature was dealing with it by producing weeds. Weeds used to come, they used to consume that nutrient overload, and after the consumption, they used to die their own death because there was no more their feed was no more available into the water body, right? So they used to starve to death, and they used to sink into the same water body, wherein they were decomposed by the activity of the native microbiota which were there into the water bodies as it is. I mean, that's a natural process. But when we started adding sewage and industrial effluent and runoff water and storm water into the water body, that addition was consistent on a daily basis. So weeds used to come, but they never used to go, because whenever weeds have come, they have consumed all that nutrient overload. The very next day, the fresh supply is available. So that is how we have started contaminating water bodies to the extent that they are unable to recover from their situation. What
So,
we have
Madhukar,
created is,
Madhukar, let me just interject here. So, Cownomics is not just the only technology that you're working on. I think under Vaidic Srijan, you have multiple such technologies that you have developed. Of course, for Cownomics, you got awarded for the Sabera Awards, but you've actually taken out a lot of wisdom from our ancient scriptures and developed multiple technologies that are now actually successfully being implemented by your partners, isn't it?
yes, ma'am. So, Cownomics was the flagship solution that we had developed. We took almost about 10 years, 5 years of academic research and 5 years of field research to perfect the technology. So, that first technology was Cownomics. We registered Vedic Srijan on 23rd of March 2021, when we had Cownomics technology as our first offering. Then we developed a technology called eco lining, which is specific to the water bodies which get completely dry during peak of summers. It's basically because the the soil, if you actually look at it, whenever you are giving your height height of a city or height of a place, it is always measured from the sea level, right? So essentially, soil is supposed to be above water, not below water. But this equation is reversed when it comes to the water bodies. Soil is beneath, then we have water, and then we have air. So there has to be an equilibrium established between the soil ecology and the aqua ecology. Then only your water body will go perennial. Otherwise, during peak of summers, your water body will get completely dried because the soil is wanting moisture, and water will be absorbed into the soil moisture itself, because
Understood. Understood. So I want to understand from you the partners that you already have. What is their feedback in terms of, is this all very academic and in theory that we are talking about, but have we actually seen? Of course, for Cownomics, I have no qualms at all, because it's already gone through the whole process, rigmarole through the Sabera jury as well, and you've been awarded for that. But what about the other technologies? What are the on-ground people actually talking about it? What is the impact that they've seen?
ma'am, all the technologies that we have are, except for the magic, which is for agriculture sector, uh, that is not commercialized as of now, because we are in the phase of getting into that commercial model. Rest all the four technologies are already commercialized and implemented. So all these 60 projects that we have already successfully delivered have got components of multiple technologies. Like in Moradabad, we are doing about 10 plus water bodies, out of which four had these problems, that they used to get completely dried during peak of summers. So there, the eco lining technology was also implemented. Then we worked in Varanasi, for which we got the CII award also for water management, and that was an in situ treatment for the lake called Lehertara Lake, which is the Kabir Prakatya Sthali. Sant Kabir was found in that lake only in 1398, and that water body was filled with sludge for almost about 7 to 8 feet. So there we implemented the eco dredging technology also. Without taking out water, all that sludge was decomposed and consumed into the production of planktons.
So
Planktons are the
sorry, Madhukar, who is your typical partner? Are you working with state governments? Are you working with at the district level, or are you working with private partners? We're of course flashing your website address here in case there are partners who can collaborate with you, who may want to volunteer with you, who may want to have a knowledge exchange session with you. So, what exactly are the kind of partners that you work with?
Ma'am, frankly speaking, we have every kind of partner. We have business partners who pay us a partnership fee, sign up with us, get their staff trained for collecting data and for execution of the project. We have NGO partners with which we work on the social project. Like I told you about Kabir Prakatya Sthali, that was a social project done under CSR with an
Okay,
NGO partner, right?
okay.
Then we have academic partners or research and knowledge partners, like IIT Delhi is our partner, IIT BHU is our partner. We have worked with ADRI, that is Asian Development and Research Institute. We have worked with SIAD. So these are all research institutions which are our knowledge and academic partner. Then we also work with academia as taking the guest lectures. We have been taking lectures in IIT Delhi, in IIT BHU, ISC Bangalore, Anand Institute of Technology, Ford School of Management, NIFTEM Sonipat. So these are all our academia partners, wherein we are working with them just to bring that awareness to the younger generation, because whatever we restore, it is basically for them. So if they don't value it, there's no point doing restoration.
So we,
So
we have Pankaj saying very good initiative by Sabera, which is talking about good technology and very good topic. Thank you so much, Pankaj, for your message. If there are any questions that you may want to ask Madhukar, please feel free to ask, because I think this is a very, very important yet overlooked uh, source of information, considering that we've got so much wealth, and we're not utilizing that. And all of this seems to be coded, it seems, into our scriptures. And while I was speaking to Madhukar earlier, he said, I dedicated 5 years of my life, along with three of my friends, to actually read the scriptures, which included the Ved, which included the Upanishads, and to try and figure out the answers. And the trigger, of course, was his grandmother, who used to tell him that if you're stuck anytime, you just pick up the Ramcharitmanas and the answer will come to you. And that he's put to test quite literally. So if there are any questions, please go ahead. And I think, Madhukar, something like this, not just with private institutions or as a sporadic CSR reach, I feel this should actually be part of the academia, especially in agricultural universities, especially in now courses that are specifically designed for ESG or sustainability. Don't you think?
Ma'am, in fact, for that thought only, I went and met a division under AICTE, which is called IKS, Indian Knowledge System, which is headed by Professor Ganti Murthy. I went and I spoke to him. I explained about what we have researched, what we have found, and they are actually literally making the course for Indian knowledge system to be studied into the colleges. In fact, I am closely working on occasional basis whenever there is World Water Day or World Environment Day or anything. There is Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences in Delhi University, wherein I interact with their Department of Botany, the Department of Zoology on a regular basis, so that the Indian knowledge system is worked upon. Apart from that, wherever I get an opportunity to interact with the college students or even to the school students, like we are closely working with Crest Olympiad for their initiative called Green Warrior Initiative. So they're the first to run a green Olympiad, and I am into their advisory panel wherein I interact with all the students who have enrolled for it. There are more than 30,000 students from across the globe who have enrolled for it, and they came up with beautiful ideas. I mean, students of class 3, they have given us a presentation that what should we do about restoring the soil health. So it is so amusing to see the presentation from little kids of third and second class and fifth class, and we tell them that okay, you need to understand that soil, water and air are living ecologies. They're not dead substances. Like what we read in our school was air is mix of gases, soil is dirt, and water is H2O. That means they were all dead inert substances, right? And if
Super.
we take that understanding, obviously we are going to go into the wrong direction when it comes to planning the restoration. So
So coming back full circle, are the three of you the friends who actually started all of this still together? And are you
yes,
finally making money? The economics is right.
yes, indeed, we are a profitable entity. Vaidic Srijan has been paying taxes since the second year. The first year we were not profitable. The second year we went into profits, and since then we are paying all that TDS and GST and income tax and everything.
Super.
So it is surely profitable, and our projects are funding our operations.
Super.
Uh,
I can't be more delighted. And I'm so glad that, Madhukar, that you found us, you found Sabera as a platform useful for you. I do want to understand. You also were physically present. I remember interacting with you through the event. What did you take back from Sabera? And what is it that now is the next for Vedic Srijan?
Ma'am, for last 2 years, we've started moving outside of India, and astonishingly for us, when we talk about Vedic science, when we talk about the holistic approach, if you just look at the wall behind me, there is a shlok. That shlok says, I mean, you would have definitely been knowing it because you started with Saraswati Vandana, so you understand our culture pretty well. So the shlok says, you take whole out of whole, and still what is left is whole, right? So this is something which, by and large, everybody in India would be able to relate to and understand. But we saw a wonderful reception globally also. So we started moving out of the country in 2023, wherein we participated in Slush in Helsinki. Then we went to COP28 in Dubai. Then last month I was there in Taiwan for Smart City uh, symposium and exhibition in Taiwan. Then we were there in COP29 in Azerbaijan, Baku. And all these places, all the people from West have been uh, embracing our technology and our ideas. Like, what you are doing is ahead of the times. We have not even thought about it, and you are implementing it in India. So that means Vedic science has been having all these technologies embedded into the scriptures thousands of years back. So India is definitely the path to sustainability, and that is what our objective has been, to establish it to the global audience, that all your answers to save the planet are there in Bharat. And
You know
that is
what,
what.
Madhukar, you've actually kind of touched upon a very sweet spot, I feel, because a lot of and multiple things are coming into my mind as well. Because so many times what happens is that ancient science gets brushed apart because modern Western sciences talk about empirical data and empirical evidence. And you've actually now taken that out, that wisdom, and made empirical evidence on that. And the fact that internationally you're being accepted by saying that you're far ahead, and yet you've actually deep dove into something which was so ancient. That is, if you look at it, it's like an oxymoron, but it validates the fact that this is not myth or this is not mythology. This is actual history, this is actual research. And this only because from a Western lens perspective, because you feel that unless it was recorded, so it is just about 2000, 2500 years back that the first time a written scripture came across, and so we feel that this is what you've actually given this empirical data, that this knowledge existed so many millennia ago and is actually relevant as much as it was, because truth is relevant irrespective of time, space, and Kal. So I think that in itself, I'm looking at it from a very spiritual perspective of validating what you have, and you've taken that from a very scientific academic way and validated that through empirical evidence. So kudos to that, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of your stuff through Sabera. And as a parting note, do tell us what was your experience at the platform.
Ma'am, the experience was wonderful. I saw so many people doing so much of good work when I was there into the event last year in December. And I thought what we are doing is, I mean, we are the only, I would say, uh, stupid people who have left their comfortable and cozy lifestyle into the IT industry. The multinational pays really well. And we got into doing something which is for the planet, for the people, for the society. But I found a lot of fellow people having a similar mindset, leaving their cozy, comfortable lifestyle and getting into a social cause. And that was actually wonderful to see. I mean, that was a big morale booster, because most of the places we go, we found ourselves to be unique and isolated, and nobody has got similar kind of a thought process. So one was last year in September when I was there in IIM Kolkata, when I met fellow people like me. And second was the Sabera Awards in last year December. So last year was a very, I mean, I would say eye opener for us to see a lot of people doing, I would say, socialpreneurship, right?
Yes.
So you are an enterprise which is profitable, which is wanting to look at profit also, sustainability also, and doing something for the social cause. So that was a unique combination that we saw into the event last year. the Sabera
And
Awardee.
since I had a ringside view, I'll tell you one thing. When your application came forward with the jury, of course, you made it through the first external validation and the external pre-screening, and then when the jury sat down to look at it and saw your video, they were kind of surprised, like, how come something like this has not existed before, and is it for real, does it work, is it, what is this slurry? If you remember, Rucha was calling you a couple of times and asking you if this is right, if this is, what is it that you're putting inside these water bodies that they're coming out also like magic is happening. So I think they went back home also learning from you. And Madhukar, keep more power to you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're actually addressing not just from a climate perspective or the ecological perspective, but also you're doing a great service to our scriptures. Some things which people take for granted at best, and at worst probably just cast aside. So thank you so much for what you're doing, Madhukar. And I'm hoping that we can see more of your work through Sabera this year as well.
Thank you, ma'am. We look forward to a long-term association with Sabera, and the kind of people that we saw into the event, the CSR heads of the organizations. I would just request you to please make them understand to believe in the scriptures and believe in the science. See, scriptures are not just spirituality or your religious text. They are all pure science. Maybe in some other session I'll explain you with multiple examples of how scientific, even the stories that our dadi and nani used to tell us, they were